Hello friends, this is the lecture of differentiation, class 12, lecture 1 at the GP Patil Junior College, Kodagaon. Now, this is the content of the chapter. In this chapter, we shall see the derivative, how to differentiate the composite function. What is the geometrical meaning of derivative? Derivative of inverse functions, logarithmic differentiation, derivative of implicit function and parametric function. This is the only content of this chapter. Now, before we start this chapter, let us recall the basic concept. Let us recall that we have learned in the previous standard, class 11. Now, first, what is the first principle law of derivative? The first principle law of derivative at particular point a, x is equal to a. That means f dash of a is equal to limit of h tends to 0, f of a plus h minus f of a divided by h. This is the first principle law of derivative at particular point a. And in general, at derivative can also be defined for fx at any point x on the any open interval. F dash of x is equal to limit of f of x plus h minus f of x upon h as h tends to 0. This is the formula for finding out the derivative using first principle law or limit using limit. Okay. Now next, this is the notation for that derivative. What is the notation for f dash of x is equal to dy by dx? If y is equal to, y can be function expressed as a x in terms of x. For a differentiable function y is equal to fx, if delta x nothing but the small increment in x, then the corresponding increment delta y is in y. Then limit of delta y upon delta x as delta x tends to 0, that is equal to dy by dx. It's again the definition of derivative. Now, what is the rules of differentiation? If u and v are differentiable functions of x such that if y is a function that can be expressed as sum of u plus v, then dy by dx is equal to du by dx plus dv by dx. Or if the function y can be expressed as in terms of u minus v, then again derivative of y with respect to x, that is equal to du by dx minus dv by dx. या ठिकाणी कोणतेही दोन सिम्बॉल असतील, प्लस असेल मायनस असेल तर आपण त्या पद्धतीने डेरिव्हेटिव्ह सेपरेट करू शकतो. सेकंड वन, if your function is multiplication, दोन फंक्शन मल्टिप्लाय मध्ये असेल u into v, then dy by dx is equal to u into dv by dx plus v into dv by dx. That means if u is the first function and v is the second function, then derivative of first function into derivative of second function plus second function into derivative of first function. Now third one, if y is a function u upon v where v is non-zero, then derivative of y with respect to x is nothing but the v into du by dx minus u into dv by dx upon v square. This is the three main formulas for the finding out the derivative: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Now next, derivatives of some standard functions. Basic formula: First one, derivatives of algebraic functions. पहिला फंक्शन आहे त्याच्यामधलं कॉन्स्टंट फंक्शन. कॉन्स्टंट फंक्शनचं डेरिव्हेटिव्ह काय असतं बरं? कॉन्स्टंट फंक्शनचं डेरिव्हेटिव्ह 0 असतं. ते आपण मागच्या क्लास 11 मध्ये पाहिलेच असेल. डेरिव्हेटिव्ह 1, x रेस टू n चा डेरिव्हेटिव्ह n x रेस टू n minus 1, 1 upon x minus 1 upon x square, 1 upon x raised to n minus n upon x raised to n plus 1, root x 1 upon 2 times of root x, and last one, these are the minus 1 upon 2x into root x. These are the algebraic functions. या फंक्शन 7 फंक्शन पैकी महत्वाचे फंक्शन कॉन्स्टंट फंक्शन, नंतर तिसरं फंक्शन x raised to n, नंतर चौथं 1 upon x and 7 root x हे महत्वाचे फंक्शन्स. Now next, derivative of trigonometric function. What is the derivative of sine? Cos x. What is the derivative of cos x minus sin x? Tan x, sec square x, cot x minus cos square x, sec x into tan x, cosec x minus cosec x into cot x. Now third one, derivatives of logarithmic and exponential functions. These are again थोडं फास्ट घेऊ आपण. आपल्याला पुढे पहिला टॉपिक पाहायचा आहे डेरिव्हेटिव्ह ऑफ कंपोजिट फंक्शन. लॉग एक्सचा डेरिव्हेटिव्ह काय? 1 upon x, log of x to the base a, means 1 upon x into log of a raised to x, a raised to x into log a, e raised to x. These are the main formulas, basic formulas for the derivative. Now let us learn first topic in this chapter, derivative of composite function. How to differentiate the composite functions. So far we have studied the derivatives of some simple functions like sin x, log x, e raised to x, etc. But how about the derivatives of sine of root x, log of sine of x square plus 5 or e raised to tan x, etc. These are known as composite functions. आता या ठिकाणी sin x च्या बदल्यात काय? sin of root x. इथे log of x नाही, log of sin of x square plus 5. एकाच वेळेस तीन फंक्शन येतील, लॉगचं फंक्शन, साइनचं फंक्शन, नंतर अल्जेब्राइक फंक्शन x स्क्वेअर प्लस 5. इथे e raised to tan x, e raised to x नाही, x च्या जागेवर काय फक्त tan x आहे. दोन फंक्शन आहेत, एक्सपोनेन्शियल अँड ट्रिग्नोमेट्रिक फंक्शन, दोघं फंक्शन एकत्र आहेत. यांनाच आपण कंपोजिट फंक्शन म्हणतो. अशा प्रकारचे फंक्शनचं डेरिव्हेटिव्ह कसं फाइंड करायचं ते आपल्याला काय. इन दिस सेक्शन लेट स्टडी हाऊ टू डिफरन्शिएट द कंपोजिट फंक्शन. त्यासाठी आपल्याला थेरम पाहावा लागणार आहे. काय थेरम? इफ y is a function of u is a differentiable function of x, and u is a function of x, is a differentiable function of x such that the composite function y is equal to f of g of x is a differentiable function of x, then dy by dx is equal to dy by du into du by dx. Now proof of this theorem. Given that y is a function of u and u is a function of x, हे differentiable function दिलेले आहेत आपल्याला. आता पाहिलं तर y in terms of u दिलेला आहे, u in terms of x दिलेला आहे. मग आपण फर्स्ट वी x मधला आपण इन्क्रिमेंट चूज करू. तर डेल्टा x, suppose delta x with the increment in x, then obviously one can create here delta u is nothing but increment in u, but y is a function of u. जर delta u हे u मधला इन्क्रिमेंट असेल तर आपोआप delta y increment y मधला असेल, एक्झिस्ट होते ते. We assume that u is not a constant function here. Let there be a small increment in the value of x, say delta x, then delta u and delta y are the corresponding increments in u and y respectively. Small increment असतील ते. as delta x, delta u, delta y are small increments in x, u, and y respectively, such that delta x is non-zero, delta u is non-zero, and delta y is non-zero. Now we have delta y upon delta x, that is equal to, that can be written as delta y divided by delta u, small increment असल्यामुळे ते into delta u by delta x. Now taking limit as delta x tends to 0 on both sides in this way. Limit of delta y upon delta x as delta x tends to 0, that is equal to limit of delta y upon delta u as delta x tends to 0. But here, and in second one, limit of delta u upon delta x, delta x tends to 0. मग इथे पहिल्या फंक्शन कडे बघा लागल्यास तुम्ही, इथे काय रेस्पेक्टिव्हली डेल्टा यू आहे. मग इथे लिमिट कोणतं आहे तुमचं, डेल्टा एक्स आहे. इथेही आपल्याला डेल्टा यू आणावं लागेल, आणि ते आपोआप लिहू शकतो आपण डायरेक्टली, कारण the starting you have assumed that, we have assumed that here delta x with the increment in x and corresponding increment काय येईल मग, डेल्टा यू अँड डेल्टा वाय सुद्धा, डेल्टा एक्स टेस्ट टू 0 कडे जातोय म्हणून आपोआप डेल्टा यू सुद्धा 0 कडे जाईल. त्यामुळे आपण डायरेक्ट रिप्लेस करू, ॲज डेल्टा एक्स टेस्ट टू 0 we get here delta u tends to 0 because u is a continuous function of x. Okay, therefore we can write here in place of delta x, delta u. Now we know that y is a differentiable function of u and u is a differentiable function of x. That means this limit exists. Again, by definition of derivative, this is the Leibniz definition of derivative. Leibniz definition derivative. Again, u is a function of x, differentiable function of x. Again, this limit is again exists as delta x is to 0, and this limit is equal to dy by du, and this limit is du by dx. Since y is a differential function of u and u is a differential function of x, therefore delta y upon delta u, limit of delta y upon delta u tends to 0, that is equal to dy by du, and limit of delta u upon delta x as delta x tends to 0 is equal to du by dx. मग या ठिकाणी आपण काय लिहिणार आहे, जी व्हॅल्यू एक्झिस्ट झाली आहे dy by du and du by dx. Using second relation, first becomes limit of delta y upon delta x to 0, that is equal to dy by du cross with du by dx. मग आता राईट हँड साइड बघा, हे एक्झिस्ट झाली पूर्ण, राईट हँड साइड एक्झिस्ट झाली म्हणजेच काय, हे लिमिट एक्झिस्ट झालं. लिमिट ऑफ डेल्टा वाय विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू डेल्टा एक्स ॲज डेल्टा एक्स टेंड्स टू 0, हे लिमिट एक्झिस्ट झालेलं आहे. एक्झिस्ट झालं म्हणजेच काय, अगेन बाय डेफिनेशन ऑफ लेबनिझ, dy by dx, y is differentiable function of x. म्हणजेच काय, युजिंग थर्ड काय म्हणू शकतो, द RHS ऑफ थर्ड, राईट हँड साइड ऑफ थर्ड एक्झिस्ट अँड इज फायनाइट. दिस विल implies here left hand side of third is also exist and is finite. That means limit of delta y upon delta x, delta y with respect to x as delta x is to 0 is equal to dy by dx. हे लिमिट कुठे पुट करणार, इथे पुट करू. Then equation third becomes dy by dx is equal to dy by du into du by dx. This is the main formula for this function. And again, याच रूलला आपण चेन रूल सुद्धा म्हणतो. Note here, the derivative of composite function can also be expressed as a, if y is a function of u is a differentiable function and u is a function of x is a differentiable function, such that y is equal to f of g of x is defined, then that y is a function of u, y of म्हणजेच काय, y with respect to u डेरिव्हेटिव्ह काय, f dash of u, f dash of u, u म्हणजेच काय तुमचा g of x, f dash of g of x, and u in terms of gx काय, g dash of x. F dash of g of x into g dash of x. And now this is the chain rule in तीन function साठी, y is in terms of VSL, v in terms of ua, and u in terms of xa. is a differentiable function of x. Then what is the derivative of y with respect to x? काय येईल मग तो? dy by dx is equal to dy by dv cross with dv by du into du by dx. This is the derivative of chain rule for three functions and so on. This is the similarly we can here if y is a function of u1 is function of u2 is function of u3 and so on. Un is differentiable function of x. Therefore, what is the derivative of y with respect to x? Dy by du1 into du1 by du2, du2 with respect to du3 and so on, dun with respect to dx. Yes. This rule is known as the chain rule. साखळी सारखा rule आहे म्हणून तो त्याला आपण chain rule म्हणतो. This is the formula for the differentiate function. आता आजच्या लेक्चरमध्ये आपण इथे थांबू. पुढच्या लेक्चरमध्ये याच ठिकाणी मेन फॉर्म्युलाज पाहणार आहेत आपण डेरिव्हेटिव्ह फाइंड करण्याचे. How to differentiate the composite function, particularly algebraic, trigonometric and logarithmic and exponential functions. Main formula बघू. Now stop here. Thank you.